What's happening? This is Len Davis with Pangiality Productions, and I'm here on the Ave adjacent to the University of Washington here in Seattle, Washington. And if you've been through Seattle or you're a Seattleite, more than likely, chances are that you are familiar with Bo Odyssey. I certainly am. And my wife and I were just having breakfast here on the Ave, and I saw Bo walking by, and so I thought I'd say hi and ask him a little bit about who he is. And I wanted to share it with you because there's so much to be known about who this character is. So nice to be here with you, Bo.
Yes, I do not know who the artist is, but on a mural across the street, someone painted a picture of me dancing.
Nice. So
it's right across the street there.
Awesome. We'll go there. So, Bo, just tell me to start off with, who are you? Why is it that Seattleites are familiar with you and your presence, and how would they know you?
I am the Bo Odyssey Scarfman. They call me Scarfman.
And what is that about? Who's Scarfman?
That is about a piece of chiffon cloth that I tie to my wrists, and I dance to music.
And so people are typically seeing you at kind of street festivals and parties around town?
Yes. And away I collect tips. I have a tip jar, and I have a different rig than this.
Uh-huh.
And I wear a brassiere for people to put tips in. How often do people get to put tips in a man's brassiere?
Nice.
And
but sometimes
when I'm dancing, I wear panties. No, they aren't women's panties because I bought them for $1 at the Belly Billy. So it's a men's panties.
Nice. But there have been times when I've seen you with no clothes on, just scarves.
Very seldom. I would do it a whole lot more, except for legal,
Right.
the legality of it.
Right. I guess it's maybe during the solstice when there's a lot of naked people around that I've seen you.
Yeah.
So, but Bo, tell me a little bit about what is it that you do? What's so unique about this scarf dancing that brings so many different kinds of people together and just seems to bring a whole, just a level of joy that is very recognizable and always present?
It just brings, I love people. I'm very much of an extrovert. I was raised to be an introvert, and I was able to, by the power of, the interesting thing of it is, I feel more closer to God out on dancing to secular music than I do sitting in church hearing music that sounds like elevator music and hearing sermons as dry as the hills of Gilboa.
So the scarf dancing and the disco ball and all that, when you're engaging people on the streets and at these different festivals, that's a spiritual practice?
It's a spiritual practice. You know, everything is ritual in my life. As I sweep the floor in my home, as I wash the dishes, as I eat my food, as I dance, and it brings joy. You know, Christ said, "I've come to have life and joy, and to have it more abundantly."
So tell me a little bit about when you see, I mean, your rig is like a little portable stand. It's got a disco ball hanging on it.
I call it press move. Party remote entertainer support mobile unit.
Press move.
Press move. That's the name of it.
Nice. And what does the press move include?
It includes a canteen of water, bananas, sandwich, scarves, extra scarves, wristbands for the scarves, free hug signs, and autograph cards, and extra clothing for as the weather changes.
And the disco ball?
And a disco ball.
Wait, tell me about the disco ball. It's hanging from the top of the press scoop?
Yeah.
Press move?
Yeah.
What does press move stand for again?
Party Remote Entertainer Support Mobile Unit.
Nice. So do you see yourself more as an entertainer or a facilitator or a preacher, or what are you?
I'm not a preacher. That if people want to be preached to, there's scores of churches and scores of nowhere man says preaching down on the street. And when I see one, I say, there, but for the grace of God goes I. Because I don't know whether it's right or wrong for them, but I know it was wrong for me to be a street preacher.
Nice. And so tell me about what happens in your sphere. I've just seen so many thousands of individuals, all kinds, little kids and couples and old people. They see, I mean, there's two things. One is to sort of observe you in the scene, in the urban festival circuit. And then the other is this whole participation element where people are encouraged to use the tools that you're bringing to the party and to have a little moment of joyful self-expression together.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
It's to help people. Some people go to festivals. Some people attend festivals. Some people experience the festivals. And I help turn it up a little bit to experience the festival with capital letters. Because there's nothing like at a festival, because it's all senses. The sense of smell of the trampled grass and coconut oil and sweat and of food cooking, in the feel of the wind and sun, and the sound of other sound stages coming through. And that's, it's all senses.
So,
all six senses.
Tell me about this city. Tell me about Seattle. What do you love about it? What's unique about this place that we live?
That it's legal to, I don't know how others, but I know that, for instance, like after a mass at a Catholic church in Puyallup, that the priest better not step out onto the steps to greet the parishioners, because that would be public display of a religious symbol. In other cities like Puyallup, there is any religious symbol that can be seen in public other than inside of a church facility is illegal.
But where are you going with that, Bo? I'm asking you about the character
Seattle,
of the Emerald
Seattle,
City.
a person can openly display their pentagram, their crucifix, their Star of David, their star, the crescent and the star. That we have more religious freedom, we have more freedom of expression here in Seattle than other places.
And it's that openness that creates a sort of foundation for an opportunity for you to thrive and do your thing, or what?
Yes, and other people to thrive.
How do you think people see you? People who don't know you, maybe aren't familiar with your shtick and haven't seen you around. How do you think people perceive you?
I don't know, and it doesn't matter. Well, what people think of me is none of my business.
What is your business?
Bringing joy to other people.
And that's through the visual splendor that you bring, as well as the sort of enabling the participation in a higher level of festival going?
Yes. And you have to pick around the book of Revelation. There's one nifty little, don't remember where it was, I was poking around the Revelation. It doesn't say it in so many words, because in King James it wasn't even in people's vocabulary. But there's in the holy city New Jerusalem, the main sound stage never goes dark. The music cranks on 24/7.
So, but another thing that I think people might wonder about is about your skin condition. Is that something you'd be able to tell me a little bit about, or what would you want people to know who, they see you, you often have your shirt off. There's a lot of texture to your body.
It's non-contagious. Doctors have looked at it. It is something that something that years ago, just after I had come out, that my dad did to me.
I'm not following you. You're suggesting that something that your dad did to you brought on the skin condition?
Yes.
Okay. Can you show me your arm just so people have a sense?
I can show it back.
And so for you, Bo, do you think that that's something that is, I think when you're dancing often with your shirt off, a lot of people see that and they're just kind of confused, or maybe they are not familiar with that. Maybe it scares some people away. I'm not sure where my question is, but I'm just interested in your engagement with strangers and your perceptions of your role and how people perceive you as part of the Seattle scene and the character of our city in terms of who we are.
Yeah. And interesting that if a person would like to know what my dad was like, is just pretty precisely 180 degrees different. I am 180 degrees out of sync with my family of origin, and damn proud of it.
Of who you are and what you've become.
Who I am and what I have become. And when some years ago, just before when my dad realized that he had only a few weeks left to go, wanted to talk to me, and it was like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. He said, "Well, why can't you be like me?" And mentioned a word that I don't even want to go there. And I said, yeah, because I am 180 degrees different from you. I respect the boundaries of children and do not touch, and so why don't you suck cock like me? Adult cock.
So before I started...
was proud of that. That was like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker.
And you said to him, why don't you suck cock like me?
Yeah.
And how did he respond?
As a rhetorical statement.
Right, and how did he respond?
I expected him to change, and just to let him know that I would have rejected all family values that they had put on me. All of it, everything.
And before we started with the interview, you were telling me a little bit more about your personal story, and you were talking about your own discovery of your own homosexuality.
Yes.
Are there any ways in which your sexuality is part of who you've become in terms of this role of the scarf dancer at the festivals?
Well, I cross-dress. I wear skirts all the time. Sometimes when I dance, I wear panties instead.
And a tutu? You're often rocking a tutu, right?
Well, all sorts, yeah. And I love to dance. And I wish I could dance. I wish I could dance a whole lot more often.
And it all started for you when a woman approached you. You were dancing at a festival, and she approached you, and she said to you, she was from some dance institution, and she said to you, you should look into scarf dancing?
Yeah. Just a chance out of all those thousands of people at the festival. And she was there and gone. She was only there, probably, the both encounters was probably about 13 seconds. There and gone.
Nice. And she said to you, I think you should look into scarf dancing?
Yes.
Taking it to the next level?
Yeah.
And how many years ago was that?
I don't remember.
Well, 2, 5, 20?
20, about 20.
Wow. And you've been rocking it ever since?
I've been rocking it ever since.
Seattle scarf dancer.
Yes. I love to dance.
Nice. Hey, Bo, in closing, do you have any ideas about our city, the Emerald City, and ideas about the future, ways in which it's changing, things you feel good about, things that you feel sad about?
Things that I feel sad about is the gentrification of people being pushed out. Broadway used to be a circus at night. There'd be people singing and dancing and juggling, and a whole lot of, a couple dozen little independent shops per block. Now is great, huge, half block long. I don't even want to say the word BANKS.
Right.
That
and you feel like that's a threat to the character of our city?
Yes. And the buildings the apartment buildings they're building, it must be when you look at when it's finished, it looks like a brick building, but the whole thing is made out of wood.
Nice.
And the thing of it is, it must be pretty thin construction, because they're called condominiums. I don't know why they came up with the word condominium.
Hey, Bo, I'm going to make my way over to that mural to show you immortalized as part of this mural. But before I do that...
Would you want me to dance in front of it?
Sure. Let's give it one sec. But before we go over there, are there any other places like that in the city where you've been immortalized as part of the fabric of the 206?
No.
This is the only mural you appear in?
The only mural, and I don't know if they'll, after I'm gone, I don't know if they'll make a statue of me like they did of J.P. Patches.
Nice, down in Fremont?
Yeah. And did that ever cause a stir when the TV show, when it found out that Gertrude was J.P. Patches' sidekick, was another man?
Hey, Bo, so I guess one last question I would have for you is, what do you want people to know about you and what you're doing at the festivals? Hey, can you cut that for me? Hey, driver. So, Bo, what do you want your average Seattleite who knows nothing about you to know about what you're trying to bring with your scarf dancing and your presence all over Seattle?
That you may have joy, and have joy more abundantly. Who needs drugs when there's endorphins? In fact, I have little cards that I give to people, and they, what are you high on? I say, it's called endorphins. What's endorphins? Hey, borrow a scarf and dance for about a half hour, and you'll find out what endorphins are.
Nice. And there you have it. I am Len Davis. I'm a Seattle-based filmmaker, and we're here on the Ave up by the University of Washington. I'm with Bo Odyssey, Seattle icon and joy enhancer.
Definitely want people to know about my coming out, about Roy, of that God does puts things in unexpected places. The gift of exorcism isn't some $1 million televangelist. I wonder if it's true, because it says people come before the judgment seat of God. Said, didn't we do all these wonderful things in your name? And you'll say, sorry, go somewhere in a handbasket. I mean, it was, the rite of exorcism was a very, very quiet. I was 1 foot away from him, and I hardly could, my garret, and I could hardly hear the whispered prayer.
And when you're talking about exorcism, you're talking about your initial experience. You were on the street preaching to the people, and a cab driver, I mean, I'm just paraphrasing the story you told me, cab driver pulled up and started pulling you into his realm that led to your first gay sexual experience that helped you to recognize your own homosexuality?
Yes, it was discovered. He didn't turn me into a homosexual. He discovered my own homosexuality. And it wasn't I, in the name of Jesus Christ, thus and so, thus and so. It was, please, Lord, I ask. And rather than I command in the name of Christ. No, and I do it to glorify God, because it's, for me, dancing is just as much of an act of worship and praise of God. I wish there's gospel rock to dance to, but there isn't
All right.
yet.
So why don't we stay? We're not going to do the dance, but I'm going to just leave here. I'm going to go over and show you. I'll just run across the street and show it. Bo, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much for.
Would you want me to dance or not?
Well, do you need any music or anything?
I can dance with it. I like to have music, but I can dance without music. I can dance anytime, anywhere. And here's the free hug signs I give to people. Free hugs.
Nice. And these are part of the tips that you get. You use to buy the materials to make the signs.
I use the tips.
What are free hugs all about?
Well, long ago, I saw somebody dip into a trash can and pull out a piece of cardboard and scratch it with a piece of with a pen, ballpoint pen, saying "free hugs." And I said, "Do you want me to make you a pretty one?" And I said yes. So I made a few of them and gave them out. And like at each day at the Folk Life Festival, I gave away 25 of them. And people said, "Do you have free hugs?" And I said, "No, they're all gone. Come back tomorrow." And then that next day, 25, they were all gone.
All right. Bo, thank you so much for bringing the joy that you do to the streets of Seattle. I really appreciate it. I'll run over there solo, and you can keep heading on your way. But thank you so much for taking the time to check in with me.
And if you want me to do any art for you, let me know.
Love you too, brother. Thank you so much.
Massages done. I do massages. I do reflexology. I do comedian. I like one of them. I make fun of company names like FBI, 5 bats inside. DSHS, dog, sea, hogs, skiing.
Nice.
The word Honda, happy ostriches nibbling dainty apples.
Nice. You really love the wordplay, don't you?
I love to wordplay. I love to celebrate. And so come on down to a festival and borrow a scarf and dance and be part of the show.
And this is him right here. I mean, we're talking about a serious Seattle icon. It's not the most amazing painting of him, but this dude is a serious Seattle icon. I'm here on the Ave. And just taking a minute to share the Seattle scarf dancing love with the masses. Stay fresh, y'all.